What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman back at it again with another video. And the next couple weeks for the Buffalo Sabres could get pretty wild with the expansion draft right around the corner, the NHL draft right around the corner, all of the rumors surrounding Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart. Things could get pretty exciting and pretty depressing over the next couple weeks. Going into the offseason, we knew that we had a lot on our plate, including hiring a permanent head coach, which we went out and did. We just rehired interim head coach Don Granato to be the permanent head coach. I thought he absolutely deserved it after the way he handled the roster in the back end of last season. I'm very happy that Don Granato got the job. I truly think he deserved it, but out of all of the decisions that we have to make this offseason, I think that was probably the easiest one. There are a lot more that are still on the table, including the expansion draft, which I am going to give you my predictions about in just one moment. But before we get into all of that, you guys know the drill. Mott's applesauce. If you're ever hungry, if you're ever thirsty, Mott's applesauce will satisfy whatever itch you might have, and I promise you it will never fail you. I am your biggest supporter on social media, Mott's. I swear, I promise you, I really am. I love your damn applesauce. So the Seattle Kraken will have a full roster in a couple of weeks, and a Buffalo Sabre will be a part of that roster. Who will it be? Who will the Seattle Kraken be able to take from us? Who will we be protecting? If this expansion draft goes like the last one with the Vegas Golden Knights, I would fully expect to be seeing another Buffalo Sabre added to the list of players that leave the Sabres that go on to play for playoff teams. But nevertheless, I digress. Who will the Buffalo Sabres protect? Let me run down the expansion draft for you. If you're just not sure how it works, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. Just to quickly break down how the expansion draft works, the Buffalo Sabres, as well as every other team in the NHL, besides for the Vegas Golden Knights, who are for some reason exempt from this expansion draft, have the option to protect 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie, or they have the option to protect 8 forwards and defensemen and 1 goalie as well. If you want to have a combination, if you want to have more defensemen for some reason, or maybe more forwards, you can have a combination of both. But I think most teams are going to take the route of protecting 7, 3, and 1 instead of 8 and 1. Depending on some players' contract situations, they might be automatically exempt from the expansion draft, or maybe, for example, an unrestricted free agent most likely will not get taken because they could still sign with whatever other team they want, even if they get taken by the Seattle Kraken. So most likely they won't even be bothered being protected by any teams that they're on, or maybe it makes them automatically protected for some reason in the expansion draft, and I'll get to that in a little bit because it does apply to the Buffalo Sabres. Also, a quick shout out to the guys over at Sabres Access for these handy little graphics that I'm going to be using throughout the video. If you're a Sabres fan, be sure to check out their stuff. I'll have the link to their Instagram down in the description below. So we're going to start with the forwards. Like I mentioned earlier, depending on some players' contracts, they might be automatically exempt or maybe automatically protected inside of the expansion draft rules. That applies to the Buffalo Sabres because Jeff Skinner has a no-move clause, so he has to automatically be protected. So we go down from 7 forward slots to 6 because we automatically have to protect our $40 million man, Jeff Skinner. So now that we're down to 6 forwards, I'm going to eliminate the guys that absolutely have no chance of being drafted by the Kraken and therefore have no chance of being protected by the Sabres. Those guys on this list would be Andrew Ogilvy, Cody Eakin, and Kyle Oposo. I wish they would take Cody Eakin. That would be hysterical if they took Cody Eakin. I would be on the floor laughing. But anyway, they don't have a chance of being involved in this expansion draft whatsoever. So they're not going to be exempt. They're not going to be protected. They're not going to be drafted. They're not going to be nothing. They'll still be on the Sabres next year, unfortunately. So moving on, I am a part of the small minority that does think that Sam Reinhart and Jack Eichel will be a part of the Buffalo Sabres next season. So those are 2 very obvious protections because why in God's name would we not protect those guys? If they're on our roster, we're going to freaking protect them. So now we're down to 4 more slots. I think the next one could easily go to Casey Middlestat. He showed a tremendous amount of promise at the end of last season. Once Don Granato took over, he started playing with creativity, with confidence. I really liked Middlestat's game. I look forward to seeing him next season. I'm further protecting Anders Bjork for the simple fact that he is the trophy of representation of the Taylor Hall trade that we did win. You know, we did win that trade, even though my original video reacting to the trade would say otherwise. We won that damn trade. I don't care what anybody says. Anders Bjork played very well at the end of last year, and Taylor Hall really did nothing for them. He was just a rental, so I think we did win that trade, to be quite honest. But in all seriousness, Anders Bjork does deserve to be protected because he showed some pretty damn good promise as soon as he joined the team. Like, he made an immediate impact for the Buffalo Sabres. He had a couple assists right off the bat. Anders Bjork deserves to come along. Victor Olofsson is the next player that I project us to protect. Even though he only proved to be a third liner at best when Jack Eichel was out of the lineup, I do think Jack Eichel will be a Sabre next year. So just for that reason alone, Victor Olofsson is worth bringing along. When Victor Olofsson is ripping one-timers on the power power play from Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart. How can you not bring him along if you plan on those two guys being a part of your lineup next season? That dude is lethal when he has the right guys around him. So now we're down to just one spot remaining of the 7 forwards that we could protect. We got Zemgus Girgensons, we got Tage Thompson, and we got Rasmus Asplund. Unfortunately, as much as it hurts me to say, I do think Zemgus Girgensons is going to be left unprotected simply because he suffered that season-ending injury that left him out. He didn't even get to play for Don Granato, on top of the fact that he's a little older than the 2 other guys that we have the option to protect. I just don't think he's going to be getting that tag. Therefore, he will be available. It doesn't mean he's going to get taken, but I don't think he's going to be worth the protection. So we're down to Tage freaking Thompson and Rasmus Asplund. And never in God's name did I ever expect myself to be saying that I would protect Tage Thompson out of these 3 guys. Never, ever would have thought I would have been saying that. Halfway through last season, I would have traded Tage Thompson for a piece of burnt breakfast toast because that dude, oh my God, he was a laughingstock. His game was so laughable, and I almost felt bad because he just looked lost. He didn't know what the hell was going on. It looked like he was just out there skating in circles, and he didn't know what the hell was going on around him. But once Don Granato took over, it actually looked like Tage Thompson began to embrace his size. He started to use his reach, his really good shot. He has a very good shot that he just does not use enough. It started to look like he really gained some confidence. Maybe he can grow to that full potential that we know he has. Tage Thompson has a tremendous amount of potential, especially with his size at his age, and I think his ceiling is infinite. If Don Granato could get the best out of him, I think protecting Tage Thompson is absolutely the right move. I just never thought I would be saying I would protect Tage Thompson. I'm serious when I tell you I would have traded him for a garbage bag, halfway through last season. I just could not stand the sight of Tage Thompson on the ice. It really pissed me off, but now I'm sitting here saying that I would protect him. How things have changed in half a year. Moving on to the back end, we're going to the defensemen now. We have 5 different options that we can choose from, but I said going into the summer that I do think Rasmus Ristolainen will finally get traded. He survived like 5 off seasons that he shouldn't have. This dude should have been out the door a while ago. I think this is the off season he's finally gone, and I'm sticking by that statement. Therefore, there will only be 4 other defensemen to choose from. And since we have 3 defenseman slots and only 4 defensemen to choose from, if Ristolainen is out the door like I am predicting, I think it's a pretty easy choice. Colin Miller, see you later, my guy. Or not see you later, but I am not protecting Colin Miller. This dude is a shin pad sharpshooter. If Seattle Kraken, if they want him, you go ahead and take him, but I'm taking Jokiharju, Dahlin, and Borgen without a doubt. So that was easy, and the goalies get even easier, right? Linus Ullmark and Carter Hutton are both unrestricted free agents, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, the Kraken are not going to touch unrestricted free agents. That is just completely ludicrous of them to do because they could still sign somewhere else even if they get drafted, so that is useless for them to do. Leaving Michael Hauser and Dustin Tokarski. I don't think they're taking a goalie from us. Long story short, I don't think I even need to cover this part of the video. So I think the Seattle Kraken have quite the selection to choose from the Buffalo Sabres. I think there's just a plethora of fantastic players that the Kraken can choose from. I do think they're going to end up taking Rasmus Asplund because Zemgus Girgensons is coming off that season-long injury, and he also is 27 years old. Asplund is younger. He's a younger prospect. They could groom him into something special if they choose to bring him along. So I think, Asplund is the one that makes the most sense. Unless for some reason the Kraken are infatuated with a shin pad sharpshooter like Colin Miller, I don't think there's really many other options for them to choose from, leaving Asplund to be their choice, which really is pretty damn good. I can't lie. I'm pretty upset that we're going to have to lose one of the guys that we have on our team between Tage Thompson and Asplund. I think it's going to be Asplund. The next couple weeks have a lot in store for our beloved Buffalo Sabres. A lot is going to go down within the next couple of weeks. Whether or not Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart get traded, we still have the expansion draft and the NHL draft as well. A lot is going to happen within the next couple of weeks, and I am looking forward to it. So those are my thoughts on the Sabres' involvement in the expansion draft. Leave any thoughts you might have down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, please like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. If you want to hit the bell to be notified when I upload, I would appreciate that. If you want to go over to Twitter, follow me over there. I would appreciate that as well. I'm a part of the built-in Buffalo content creation team. If you enjoy Buffalo Bills content, be sure to follow and subscribe to them on any social medias that you might have, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.